this is a talk that's about, it's either a shameless plug for everything we've done at Red Hat, or else it's us saying, help, we need help. Basically, I'm going to be telling you all about the projects that we've been working on that are about to come in. I've already done blogs about things that have gone in, so this is future things. First up, Martin has been working on a new warning message to detect buffer overflows and truncations when using sprintf, snprintf, vsnprintf, etc., etc., etc. So you have something like this, where you thought, oh yes, I'll be able to print my integer in there, but actually, sorry, my string in there, but no, because you've forgotten the null at the end, and it'll tell you very handily that the buffer will overflow. Or over here, you're printing an integer into a fixed length buffer, but in fact, you've got too many digits in your integer, so it's going to have a truncated result. Very nice. The patch is going in very soon, but it does need some improvements in the value range pass to help produce false positives. But also, and bug reports welcome, of course. Fortunately, Andrew and Aldi are working on improving the value range propagation. Now then, I'm going to read this out because it's a little bit above my head, I'm afraid. So if you have questions, contact them, not me. So they're creating a new value range generator that can support multiple ranges and symbolic values as well as constants for a given object. And it can be, you can extend it so it will support more operations. So, for example, at the moment it'll understand plus and minus, but it doesn't understand left shifts. So if you think, oh, I really need to be able to understand left shifts, it's easy to add. And it can generate ranges for any SSA name, not just the names that are in the current block, which apparently is a very important and useful thing, although I don't understand it. Currently, proof of concept only, but they are working on it, and it will come in at some point in the future. What's next? Aha, I like this one. I'm sure we've all had this, where you've written a case statement and forgot to add a break, and it falls through to the next line and does something you didn't really want it to do. So Marek is going to be has already got code for doing this, actually, that generates warnings when the code falls through in a switch statement. But, of course, you're going to say, hang on a second, there are times when I do want it to fall through. This isn't going to be good. So it knows about lots of different things. It knows about flow control, so that if it looks like you've missed out a break statement at the end there, but because of flow control, you never will, it won't warn. It knows about attributes, comments, C++ attributes, which I think are also going to be C attributes soon, or supported in C. And it also knows about a fall through to somewhere where you just do a break anyway, so it's not actually a problem. So it knows about all of those. Yep, he's hoping to get it into GCC 7, although support for C style attributes in C will be coming later on. Okay. Next, what else? Aha. Yes, Jonathan and Torvald have been working on the C++ 17 implementation, and we're very proud to say that we have the best C++ 17 library implementation of any toolchain out there at the moment. So, yay. Thank you, Jonathan. Where have we got? Take a bow. That is right, isn't it? I'm not lying. Yeah. Fair enough. So it works ongoing, of course, and you can find out the full list of things that are being completed and things that need to be completed on this URL. And of course, volunteers to help implement it, always welcome. Yep. Cool. Okay, so Pedro has already mentioned this from the GDB side, but Alexandri's been working on the GCC side of allowing the compiler to be a library called from external clients. GDB in this case, but it doesn't have to be GDB, it could be anything. And it's really cool. It is so amazing that you can you just pass a little bit of code into the compiler and say, hey, compile this, and the compiler says, I don't know, what is this X thing you're talking about? And it says, okay, here's the information. And they talk back and forth to each other, and in the end, you get a nice bit of compiled code. It's lovely. So I think that's one of the best things I've ever seen. And you can find out more on the Git branch, Olivia's libcp1. I'm not sure if that should be libcpp1 or just cp1, but anyway, there might be a typo, I'm not quite sure. And of course, in GDB land, you can also find out more on this branch. Let's see what else we've got. Automated, yes, David. Now, David's already mentioned this on the testing BOF where he dialed in, I believe. Currently, we have really good test suites for testing the compiler as a whole. You know, compile this, does it work? But we don't have a lot of unit testing where you're testing just a small part of the compiler to detect bugs before you even actually finish building the compiler. He's added this -f self-test option, which runs some tests during compiler builds. And basically, what it needs is lots more of these small, quick tests to be added into the compiler to check that things are working before you even finish building your compiler. It's very lightweight, it's very easy. If it turns out that the test is preventing you from building the compiler or something like that, the test is wrong, it's dead easy to get rid of it as well. Extended framework, yep. Oh yes, and that's the other thing he's working on now, is that for some of the tests, you want to be able to, say you want to test an individual optimization pass. So you need the input as RTL or maybe Gimple, run it through the pass, and then check to see that the result is what you expected. So in order to do that, you need a parser that that will take RTL in a text form in the test case, convert it into actual RTL as a binary, give it to the pass, check the result. So he's working on an RTL parser to do that. I think it's a fairly simplistic one at the moment, but it's going to be extended. And that allows you to create small RTL test cases to feed into a pass and check. Bug reports, welcome, of course. Yes. Improved diagnostics is another thing that David's working on. Currently, it's actually started to go in, but the idea here is that the diagnostic messages, the error messages, warning messages, and so on, that GCC produces, are all they're not friendly for a non-human to consume. If you're an IDE and you want to have a look at GCC's output, you'd have to do quite a lot of parsing of those messages. So what this is a standard form of text that is emitted after or alongside the diagnostic message that the IDE can then parse and say, yes, this is what I need to present to my viewer, my user, so that they will be able to do something about it. And we particularly wanted someone to do an Emacs hack so that Emacs will then be able to understand these things. They're called fixits. So understand these fixits that are being generated so that then, of course, I'm assuming that people use Emacs here. I may be the only one. So, yeah. Here we go, an actual example, if you can see it. It's a little bit faint. So you have a warning message, an error message coming out of the compiler saying, you misspelt this struct field. Did you mean color instead of color? Of course you meant OUR, because you're using British English, naturally. But maybe someone else had used the wrong kind of English and called it like that. And what this option will do is generate an extra line in the output that looks like this, which isn't sort of hugely useful to a human, but to an IDE, it's brilliant. It tells it exactly what this fix-it here says. This is something for you, IDE. Well, I'm telling you, this is the source file. This is the line number, and then the columns in the line, and this is the word you need to highlight, and so forth. Yes. Okay. Why is this option in here? I can't remember why they put that in there. There's another warning. But there is it is another warning. This. Yes. Yes. This is something he's thinking about, but is not doing yet, which is automatic generation of patches to fix your wrong code for you. So GCC has discovered this. You had a look at this line and said, did you really mean to do that? Maybe you meant that. And it will generate a patch and say, hey, this is the patch that you ought to be applying to your sources. But, well, it'd be nice if providing you trust GCC to do that kind of thing. Does it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sweet. Mm-hmm. Oh, right. I didn't know that. All right. Yeah. Oh, he has. Oh, back one, yeah, of course. So, yep. Ah, generate patches. Ah, I skipped that, didn't I? Yes. Okay, so you're saying that's actually already in? Oh, I didn't think that. Ah, okay, fair enough. What else have we got? Aha! So Pedro called me and said, hey, have you got a few more minutes to talk about GDB? So there's lots more GDB improvements that are coming down the pipe as well. We have got, let's see, it'll probably be easier if Pedro tells you all about this. GDB's Python unwinder support has got a few bugs in it, should we say? So that that's getting better. That's Kevin working on that. And then, multiple clients attaching to a single GDB server. So you could have one GDB server running on your target, and then you can have GDBs from all over the place attaching to it. And because of the improvements to strace, you can have strace and GDB both talking to the same GDB server as well now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and of course, bug reports, patches, reviews, all welcome. What else have we got? Haha. Oh, that's a typo. That should be capital P. Never mind. Improving OpenMP debugging support for outline functions. Bleh. He says. Right. Now this is. Hang on. That's not right. I've missed that. That shouldn't be in there, should it? Ha. Thank you. Yes, right. Okay. Now then. So currently, if you're inside an OpenMP function, that's right, you can't see things outside it. Is that right? Mm-hmm.
The body of the loop is outlined, and the outline function may be running a separate function. And if you're stopped inside that function in a separate thread, and you try to inspect variables that are only visible in the parent thread,
Mm-hmm.
Because for variables which are shared and used in the region, we already have the artificial variables which just tell you where the shared variable lives. For private variables, it's the same. But for variables, you don't touch anything like they're not visible.
Right.
Because it does not occur as a function, or there's
Similar, yes. But they have a different way how to find out where.
and then the frame also needs to be
It's the easier case because it's just go up to the.
yeah.
It's not. Yeah, you could have some frames in between.
Yeah, there's a runtime thing.
But in this case, it can be a different frame.
And maybe snippet threads, and you need to hide this magically.
Cool.
And so we were working on that.
All right.
See that?
Oh.
No, that's not good.
All right. I'm going to skip this next one. Okay. GDB's buildbot now also has a tribot, so when you submit patches, it will run regression testing on all of these targets at the moment. And what we're particularly asking for is more build slaves and more architectures to run the tests on.
What about GCC?
Yeah.
It just takes more resources for GDB. So, yeah.
It depends. Sometimes those machines. Yes, I have.
So there's a bunch of infrastructure around this. It's not just setting up your bot. And there's machinery to store the test results somewhere that archive and compare things. And there's a generation of emails. And actually, when you fix the build itself, you send a private email to whoever committed the batch that built the build.
Yeah, I got one.
Things like that.
Basically.
And I'm sure that if you contact Sergio and tell him that you want to use this for GCC, you'll be more than happy to help.
The build slaves, when you want to should be on the site, your site, or should be on the other company site?
Wherever you want.
So, for example, Synopsys can have a build slave for GDB
Private in your service, yes, you can.
and you can use it.
Yes.
What we do for Go, when we have something like this for Go, but we actually just use the cloud. So we just spin up new VMs for everything we want to test. Of course, not all machines are available on the VM, but most are.
Cool.
If you want to set up a
development trials.
Oh, didn't know. Yes.
Point on that note, for example, I know GitHub's not popular because of the privacy issues, but Travis CI is free for all open source projects. You just put a single YAML file in the root of your project, and then it can get built on a big build machines. They're all Linux x86 64, but once you have it built, you can and every time you make version, it would cut that build automatically. So you could use that and keep your own infrastructure, and it's got
Are you using that?
I use it for my personal projects, and I know there's a lot of large projects that use it.
Yeah, I use Travis for building the GC collab,
Mm-hmm.
but the problem is that after the build you have to test, so then I got some problems. Especially
Let me point out, I mean, it's a really important thing. It's x86, and they are not interested in other architectures.
Okay.
these are
It wasn't enough. It's always loading
Yes?
So internally, I have continuous integration running for both GCC, GED, and GLC.
no one tells us.
Yeah, I do on AR64. So at least on Thunder, it's tested, well tested, and also sometimes benchmarks are run too, depending on if I feel happy to turn those on. But I use Jenkins, which is Travis actually.
All right. Okay. And lastly and leastly, since it's mine, Objdump currently has problems. It's very, very slow if you want to do a dump with mixed source code and disassembly of a big program, because basically it's scanning the debug information for every single address. You say, what's at this address? Here's the disassembly. Let's go and read all the debug information, parse it, print it out again. Let's do the next line, and it doesn't read it again, but it parses it all again. It's ridiculously slow. So now I'm going to fix that. And by adding caching, of course. And the other thing it doesn't do is if you disassemble a dynamic binary, it doesn't apply the dynamic relocations first. So you get the disassembly, but it's pretty unhelpful because all the function calls are to something plus some offset and not the actual destination. So anyway, so that'll come in soon, as soon as I have a free couple of days to fix that. And I think, here we go. We have not forgotten about converting GCC from Subversion to Git, but it's not a high priority. So it's a sort of an ongoing in the background type thing. But it is, we haven't forgotten, right? Several people have talked about using Gerrit for for tracking and handling GCC patches. I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. It probably needs more buy-in from all of you guys. John?
I'm planning on setting it up, or asking Frank to set it up for Clifton C++.
Right.
Because we already have our own, our patch review has to be CC'd to a separate list, and there's typically an orthogonal set of people doing the reviews. So I thought I'd try it out. If it works for us, people are interested, then we can think about using it elsewhere.
Right.
I use Garrett all the time, and it's great.
Is that transparent to
Yeah.
contributors other than adding the CC?
What's that?
Is it transparent to contributors? Like, as a contributor, you have to know anything about it, or you just send your patch to the mailing list?
As a contributor, you have to know something about it.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to send your patch into Garrett, which you can do with a set of Git commands.
Okay.
And it will be, we're not talking about replacing the mailing list with this, it will be an addition.
Okay.
If someone wants to send a patch there, I will review it there. If they send it to the mailing list, I'll review it in my mail client.
Right.
So
But I thought we should try it.
can Garrett send emails?
Yes.
When somebody submits something to Garrett, it will automatically send.
Yes.
Okay, if that's the
you
case,
reply on the mailing list, or does it get back?
no.
No.
That's why we're talking about this whole transparent.
But if we have new contributors who are happy, prefer using the sort of GitHub pull request style model, and they want to put things in Gerrit, I'm not going to reject them and tell them, no, send an email, we don't want your patch. So I'm willing to try it. But if I've never used it
Ian?
effectively. Just make sure we don't
Yeah.
start out doing this silly, then yeah, by all.
You can come talk to me if you want.
Talk to Ian. Yep.
Yeah, so we,
Oh, and
those of us who will use it for various projects, also I would say that we won't make any promises, but at least to us, the team that maintains Garrett is fairly responsive, so adjustments to the UI or to the system are possible. Don't think of it as a take it or leave it system. Feedback will be welcome to improve it.
Thanks.
Cool. And what's this last one? Re-architecture project to replace trees with T-types. Oh, yes, yes. So that is still going on. No, it's not dropped, it's been put on a back burner, okay? So I don't know when, if ever, you'll be hearing more about it, but it hasn't been forgotten. There we go. And lastly, I just wanted to say, from me and from all of the team, we want to say a big thank you to everyone here and everyone in the community for all the work that you've been doing, that's been helping us. And yeah, we just want to say thank you so much. So there you go. I'm afraid I didn't have a huge amount of talk to talk about, so we're under time, possibly the first talk ever. Unless, of course, there's somebody who has a question or something they want to say. Yes?
Could you just give a quick overview? What's that work replacing trees with the T-type?
No, but I'm sure somebody here can. The idea is to replace the tree type with a new thing called a T-type, I believe. Is that right? And what's the motivation behind this? We want to get... Yeah, go on. Tell us all. How?
I'm too sarcastic about it.
Oh.
So this is the disambiguation trees also classes for types and decimals and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, so rather than anything being a tree, you've got a type thing, expression
Thing. Yeah, and they're separate. They're not the. Yeah, they're not all overloaded.
It's not one passive class.
Yes.
You've got three passive classes.
For reviewing the point, they need to appear as the same again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, digital cases. I remember C++ front end between infos and types was the same thing, and sometimes infos aren't types.
It's quite a big restructuring, isn't it, of the internals? Yeah. I know that. So. But the idea is that it helps to make GCC more modular and basically try and compete with a certain Clang compiler we know. Sorry, LLVM compiler. And obviously, once that's done, you can then break things down a bit more and break things out and replace things and so forth. So that's the idea. Any other questions? No? Right, well then, let's break early for lunch. Okay.